The Joker isn't just one character, he's a kaleidoscope of madness that shifts depending on who's telling the story. Each version brings something unique to the table, from campy prankster to genuinely terrifying psychopath. Let's break down every major Joker personality and what makes each one tick. Cesar Romero, the Clown Prince of Camp. Cesar Romero's Joker from the 1960s Batman TV series is pure, unfiltered joy wrapped in purple suits and covered in white makeup, famously applied over his mustache because Romero refused to shave it. This Joker wasn't trying to murder anyone or prove philosophical points about chaos. He was pulling elaborate pranks, building ridiculous contraptions, and cackling his way through schemes that were more silly than sinister. This version represents the Joker at his most playful and least dangerous. His crimes were theatrical performances designed for maximum spectacle and minimum actual harm. He'd steal priceless artifacts or kidnap officials, but the real goal was always the show itself. Romero's Joker loved being the center of attention and treated crime like performance art. His laugh was infectious rather than chilling, and his schemes, while elaborate, were more Rube Goldberg machines than actual threats to Gotham. What's remarkable about this interpretation is how it established the Joker's theatrical nature that every subsequent version would build upon. Even the darkest Jokers still crave an audience, still need Batman to witness their chaos. Romero planted those seeds in a version of the character designed primarily to sell toys to children. His Joker proved the character could be adapted to any tone while maintaining that core theatrical essence. The Gangster Clown. Tim Burton's 1989 Batman gave us Jack Nicholson's Joker, and this version brought something new to the table, a complete origin story. Jack Napier was a mob enforcer, a violent criminal with clear motivations and a personality before the transformation. When he fell into that vat of chemicals at Axis Chemicals, the fall didn't create the Joker. It unleashed something that was always lurking beneath Jack Napier's surface. Nicholson's Joker is a gangster who happens to look like a clown rather than a clown who happens to commit crimes. He still has organizational skills, still understands the criminal underworld, and still operates with a certain twisted logic. But the chemicals removed his inhibitions and cranked his sadism up to maximum. This Joker kills people with Smilex gas that literally forces them to smile themselves to death. He defaces priceless art in museums not for money, but because he wants to be the only masterpiece in Gotham. What makes Nicholson's version fascinating is the vanity. This Joker is obsessed with his appearance despite, or perhaps because of, his disfigurement. He applies makeup to look normal in public, creating this disturbing mirror image where the real face is the joke and the makeup creates the mask of sanity. His relationship with Vicky Vale shows a Joker who still has human desires, who wants to be seen as attractive, who craves validation beyond Batman's attention. He's a mob boss, an artist, a killer, and a showman all rolled into one purple-suited package that defined the Joker for an entire generation, the animated chaos. Mark Hamill's voice work in Batman, the animated series created what many consider the definitive Joker. This version synthesized everything that came before while adding layers of psychological complexity that the character had never really explored. Hamill's Joker is genuinely funny. His jokes actually land, his timing is impeccable, and you find yourself laughing even as he's doing horrible things. That's what makes him so disturbing. This Joker has no confirmed origin story, and that's intentional. In The Man Who Laughs, we see one possible beginning, but the show makes it clear that the truth doesn't matter. What matters is who he is now. A force of chaos so pure that even his own henchmen never know if they'll survive the day. He'll kill someone for laughs, then save them for a better punchline. He's completely unpredictable except in one area: his obsession with Batman. Hamill's Joker shows genuine hurt when Batman doesn't pay attention to him. In The Man Who Killed Batman, when he thinks a small-time crook accidentally killed Batman, the Joker is devastated. He doesn't celebrate, he mourns. Because without Batman, what's the point? This Joker needs his nemesis more than he needs to win. Their relationship is toxic codependency elevated to operatic levels. Hamill brought vulnerability to the character that made the Joker somehow more terrifying. This isn't just a madman, it's a madman who understands love and chooses chaos anyway. The Agent of Chaos. Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight fundamentally changed how we think about the character. This isn't a gangster or a prankster. This is an anarchist philosopher with a very specific worldview he's determined to prove. Ledger's Joker believes that civilization is a thin veneer over humanity's true nature. and all it takes is a little push to expose the savage underneath. What makes this Joker so effective is the complete absence of traditional motivation. He doesn't want money. He burns a mountain of cash just to prove it doesn't matter. He doesn't want power in any conventional sense. He wants to prove a point, that everyone is just like him deep down, that morality is a joke we tell ourselves. His schemes are social experiments designed to force people into impossible choices that reveal their true nature. The bank robbery opening establishes his methodology perfectly. Every criminal in the heist is told to kill another member once their job is done, and they all do it because the Joker understands that survival instinct trumps loyalty. His appearance is deliberately dirty and chaotic, makeup smeared and running, scars that he gives different origin stories for because the truth is irrelevant. He licks his lips constantly due to the scar prosthetics, but Ledger turned it into a character tic that makes the Joker seem even more unsettling. This Joker's relationship with Batman is adversarial, but also deeply intimate. He doesn't want to kill Batman because Batman is the one person who gives his chaos meaning. When Batman saves him from falling at the end, the Joker laughs because Batman proved his incorruptibility, which means the game continues. Ledger's performance is mesmerizing because you can't look away even though every instinct tells you to. He created a Joker who was genuinely terrifying, not because of what he did, but because of what he believed. The gangster grotesque. Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad is perhaps the most divisive interpretation. This version leans heavily into the gangster aesthetic. Gold teeth, tattoos, designer clothes, and a throne of weapons. He's a crime lord who controls Gotham's underworld with a mixture of violence and unpredictability. His appearance is aggressively modern, with damaged, tattooed on his forehead, and silver grills that gleam when he smiles. This Joker's defining characteristic is his relationship with Harley Quinn. Unlike other versions where Harley is an afterthought or a victim, Leto's Joker is shown to be genuinely obsessed with her. He tears apart Gotham trying to rescue her from the Suicide Squad, which humanizes him in ways that make some fans uncomfortable. Is a Joker who loves someone still the Joker? This version argues yes, that love doesn't redeem him, it just gives his madness a focal point. The limited screen time makes it hard to fully evaluate this interpretation, but what we see is a Joker who's adapted to the modern criminal world. He's less theatrical than previous versions and more brutal in a visceral way. The tattoos and grills suggest a Joker who's been in and survived numerous conflicts, each modification a trophy or a reminder. While divisive, Leto's Joker represents an attempt to modernize the character for audiences raised on gangster rap and luxury brand culture rather than Golden Age comic books. The Broken Comedian. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in the 2019 film is a complete departure from everything that came before. This isn't a story about Batman's nemesis. It's a character study about a mentally ill man failed by every system meant to help him. Arthur Fleck isn't born evil. He's created by a society that grinds down anyone vulnerable and then acts surprised when they break. Phoenix's performance is physically transformative. Arthur's body is skeletal, malnourished, moving with a disturbing grace that makes him seem not quite human. His laugh isn't joyous. It's a medical condition, a pathological disorder that causes him to laugh at inappropriate moments, often when he's actually in pain or distress. The laugh that defines the Joker becomes a prison that Arthur can't escape. This version explores mental illness, class warfare, and social isolation in ways no other Joker film has attempted. Arthur wants to be a comedian but isn't funny. He wants to connect with people but doesn't understand social cues. He wants his mother to be proud of him, only to discover she's been lying about his entire existence. Every support system fails him. His therapist, his medication, the social services meant to help him, even the comedian he idolizes humiliates him on national television. The transformation into Joker isn't about falling into chemicals. It's about Arthur finally embracing the chaos that's been building inside him. When he dances on those stairs in full makeup, he's not celebrating villainy. He's celebrating the freedom that comes from having nothing left to lose. Phoenix's Joker is tragic, disturbing, and deeply uncomfortable because he forces us to confront how society creates its own monsters. This Joker doesn't challenge Batman, he challenges us. The Riddler's pen pal. Barry Keoghan's Joker in The Batman appears only briefly, but that brief appearance is loaded with implications. This Joker is already in Arkham Asylum, already established as someone the Riddler admires and consults with. Unlike previous versions, we see the Joker as an intellectual, someone whose chaos is calculated and whose madness has a method. The scene where he speaks with the Riddler through cell walls shows a Joker who understands psychological manipulation at a master level. He knows exactly what to say to validate the Riddler's grievances while also subtly mocking him. This Joker has a facial disfigurement that appears almost like a permanent smile, suggesting this version's appearance is the result of a condition or injury rather than chemicals. What's interesting is this Joker's role as a dark mentor or corrupter of other villains. He's not creating chaos directly, he's inspiring others to create it for him. This suggests a version of the character who's moved beyond needing to be in the spotlight himself. Now he creates chaos through proxies, like a conductor leading an orchestra of madness. The full extent of Keoghan's interpretation remains to be seen, but the glimpse we got suggests a more cerebral, manipulative Joker than we've seen before. The comic book evolution. Beyond live action, the comic book Joker has evolved through distinct personality phases. The Golden Age Joker was a murderous psychopath who killed without hesitation, using his trademark Joker venom to leave victims with rictus grins. The Comics Code Authority era softened him into a prankster criminal, more annoying than dangerous, pulling elaborate pranks rather than murders. The Bronze Age, particularly under Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams, returned the Joker to his murderous roots while adding psychological depth. This era established the Joker's obsessive focus on Batman and introduced the idea that he might not even remember his own origin. Alan Moore's The Killing Joke gave us the most famous possible origin, a failed comedian who loses everything in one bad day, while simultaneously suggesting that even this origin might be a lie, the Joker tells himself. Modern comics have pushed the Joker to even darker extremes. Scott Snyder's Death of the Family showed a Joker who had his own face surgically removed and wore it as a mask, taking his disfigurement to horrifying new levels. The Joker War presented him as a criminal mastermind who nearly destroyed Gotham through systematic financial and social manipulation. These versions emphasize the Joker as a force of nature, an evil so pure and focused that he transcends typical villain categorization. The Three Jokers Theory. DC Comics. Three Jokers storyline proposed something radical, that there have always been three different Jokers operating simultaneously, which explains the character's inconsistent personality and history. The criminal is the original, a straightforward mobster who commits crimes for practical reasons. The comedian is obsessed with theatricality and making Batman the punchline of elaborate jokes. The clown is pure chaos, someone who kills and destroys for its own sake with no greater goal. This framework helps explain decades of continuity contradictions. Is the Joker a criminal mastermind or a chaotic wild card? Yes. Different Jokers, different approaches. Does he remember his origin or not? Depends which Joker you're asking. While controversial among fans, the Three Jokers concept acknowledges something true about the character. He's whatever the story needs him to be, and that flexibility is part of his enduring appeal.